trying to land at the New Bedford Regional Airport when it crashed here instead. Police say the pilot did not provide a flight plan, and they don't know how many people were on board of this plane. You can see it looks like a car is also involved in this accident here. Mass DOT says 195 westbound is currently closed at exit 19 in Dartmouth. The left lane is also closed in the eastbound lanes here. The closure is expected to be in place for several hours. We do have a crew that is working to get down there as soon as possible, so we will bring you an update from them when we can.
At some video from the road, you could see there a damaged car from that crash, and in the distance there, really in the median of 195, is parts of that plane. What we know at this point is that I-195 westbound is closed at exit 19. There's also left lane closures in place on 195 eastbound. So state police say it appears a fixed wing plane was trying to land at New Bedford Regional Airport when it crashed into the median. This was just after 8 this morning. That plane caught fire. We don't know how many people were on board. MassDOT says I-195 westbound will be closed for several hours because of this. It's a major scene. We'll bring you more information as soon as we get it. We have video now of that plane crash in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Here is a look at some video from the road. You could see there a damaged car from that crash.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. From what I can see, it didn't try landing in the medium, in the grassy area. I think it came down so low, it went across. It was like maybe trying to clear both of them highways there. And I don't know, it looks like it hit on one side where the vehicle was, and then came across the highway or whatever and landed in the medium. Let's see what else we can see.
We have video now of that plane crash in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Here is a look at some video from the road. You could see there a damaged car from that crash, and in the distance there, really in the median of 195, is parts of that plane. What we know at this point is that I-195 westbound is closed at exit 19. There's also left lane closures in place on 195.
Yeah, you can see where it came across the highway. Yeah, that's what happened. I don't think it tried landing there.
Crashed into the median. This was just after 8 this morning. That plane caught fire. We don't know how many people
I'm trying
were on
to
board.
stop it because it's going to show the
I-195
plane
westbound will
here.
be
Hold on a
closed
minute.
for several hours because of this. It's a major scene. We'll bring you more information as soon as we get it. We have video now of that plane crash.
All right, right there. That's what I want to see right there. I'll be dang. Is that a plane or a chopper? Is my question. But I don't think it tried landing on the highway or whatever they're saying. I think it just, for one, the approach was completely wrong to land on the highway or even land in the medium there in that grassy area, which, you know, it cut across the highway instead of making a landing approach, you know. So, yeah, and I don't know what that is. Look at how small the tire is on it. I don't know if that's the tail. Usually on some of these smaller planes, the tail has a small wheel on it. Who knows what we'll find out with this. All right, let's see if there's any other information out there, any other videos. I-95, small plane crash in Dartmouth. Let's see if this is...
Folks, I've seen a thing or two. But these prescription prices?
We're interrupting Good Morning America to bring you some breaking news. Learned that MassDOT says a small plane has crashed into the median. This is of 195. This is all happening in the Dartmouth area. The crash happened this morning near the Reed Road exit. I'm going to go ahead and read you some information here. This is literally just coming into the newsroom right now. MassDOT saying that 195 westbound is currently closed at exit 19 in Dartmouth due to a plane crash. A left lane closure is also in place on 195 eastbound. This closure is expected to remain in place for several hours. We do know, if you're familiar with that area, 195 in the Dartmouth area, that is right near the New Bedford Regional Airport at this point. We don't know where this plane was going. We don't know where this plane or perhaps was coming back from, but we do know that a small plane has crashed on 195 into the median. We're going to stay on top of the situation. We have also reached out to police, also airport officials in that area, and we'll continue to bring you the details as soon as we get them. But again, if you're headed to the Dartmouth area, this is 195. You may want to avoid that area because we have some lane closures. We have an exit closure. We're going to stay on top of this and bring you the latest as it comes into our newsroom. That scene. So I'm getting a look at this for the first time, as are you. Right now you can see that this was a fixed wing plane that crashed in the median there of the interstate in Dartmouth. You could see a lot of smoke in that area. State police also told us that there was a lot of fire after this crash happened. Again, this is all happening in the median. So as you can imagine, traffic very affected and very backed up in that area. 195 westbound is shut down at exit 19. The left lane is also closed on 195 eastbound. So once again, this was a fixed wing plane that crashed in the median 195 in Dartmouth. State police telling us that preliminary information suggests that this plane might have actually been trying to land at the New Bedford Regional Airport, which is near that area. If you're familiar with it, 195 is actually just south of that airport. But state police also said that preliminary information indicated that the plane was trying to land there, though it does not appear that the pilot provided the airport with any type of flight plan or said how many people were on board. We also don't know if any cars on the ground were impacted by this. Right now, it appears that this was mostly confined there to that grassy median, that plane then catching fire, and then you see all of that smoke. So we're still waiting to learn identities of people on board, the pilot, if there were any passengers, if any cars were involved in this. So a lot of questions right now. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Cindy Fitzgibbon. And Cindy, we've been talking a lot about the poor visibility. There's also rain. There's also the high wind.
Yeah, we don't know if this was weather related, but certainly the weather has not been great this morning, right? So this is a look at the current visibility, and I draw your attention down to New Bedford. This is coming from the New Bedford Regional Airport. The visibility right now is 3 miles, but I was looking back at the observations from the airport, and at 8:07, right around the time this happened, the visibility was about 1 3/4 miles, and the ceiling height of the clouds is about 900 feet. So conditions right there not great. This is a radar loop from the past 2 hours, taking you back into that 8 o'clock time frame or so. And you can see for the past couple of hours, we've had periods of rain, light rain, mist being reported at the time of that observation around 8:07 this morning, too, from the New Bedford Regional Airport. But this is I-95, 195 right here. And you can see Dartmouth to the south, Route 6 and New Bedford. So this entire area still getting the rain right now. It's been intermittent here over the past couple of hours. The wind is the other factor. Obviously, we are in the midst of a nor'easter right now. The wind has been strongest down toward the Cape and the islands. But this northeasterly wind right now gusting to 30 miles per hour. At around 8 o'clock this morning, it was gusting to 31 miles per hour. Sustained winds, though, out of the northeast have been up around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So we've had the wind, we've had the poor visibility, and of course, the light rain ongoing out there. Antoinette?
All right, Cindy, thank you. We are just getting some more video. These are our first views of video from this scene. We've been talking about this fixed wing plane that crashed there in the grassy median of 195 in the Dartmouth area. So as we get a look here, you could see those flames that we were talking about earlier. And some of the other pictures that we saw earlier, we were just getting our first look at them, and as we analyze them a little more closely, we do see that there does appear to be a car on scene that was damaged. So once again, we are waiting to get a lot of this information confirmed. Right now, you see where that plane crashed there in the grassy median on 195. This is in the Dartmouth area, and we do believe state police think that this plane was trying to land at the New Bedford Regional Airport. There's that picture of that car on scene. So we're still waiting to learn any injuries. We're still waiting to find out how many people, if there were any passengers on board that airplane when it crashed, as it was heading to, we believe, the New Bedford Regional Airport. So a lot of details to work out on this, and of course, whether or not the weather played a factor. We're going to continue to stay on top of the situation, and we will continue to cut into programming as warranted. For now, we will return you to Kelly and Mark.
Discover the 10-second honey trick to stop memory loss.
Well, all right, let's check this out.
This morning, DOT telling us 195 West is closed. At least one lane is closed on 195 East. We do have a crew headed to the scene. We'll have much more on this breaking news coming up. And we go off the air at 9 o'clock. But of course, we'll keep you posted on WPRI.com all day long.
We're actually just getting word that we have video from this plane crash that we've been telling you about on 195 in the Reed Road exit area in Dartmouth. So we're going to take a look at that. And Stephen, that's really backing up traffic. And on top of that, the road conditions in other places aren't great. So you can see this video just in from someone who was obviously on 195, the heavy smoke there, and the plane in the median. Will stay on top of this for the rest of the day for you.
And that fire is across the highway. So the highway was burning. So he wasn't making an approach to land on the highway or that medium. He was just trying to keep it above so he can clear the highway. Maybe. But as we just seen in that footage, definitely the highway was on, across the highway was on fire. So he might have hit before the highway and just came. It looks like there's a couple trees that were broken that I seen in some of the footage. They might have clipped them trees. He might have been coming down before even the highway and clipped them trees and then came across the highway, and that's how that car got hit. And thank God there wasn't more cars than that hit. Right? God for that. Let's see what else we want. You know, Boston is live right now with it, but what we can see from that, from this video, watch no Belgians.
Update now on that breaking news from Dartmouth, Massachusetts DOT confirming that a plane has crashed off of Route 195. These reports coming in at about 8:15 this morning. DOT telling us 195 West is closed. At least one lane is closed on 195 East. We do have a crew headed to the scene. We'll have much more on this breaking news coming up. And we go off the air at 9 o'clock. But of course, we'll keep you posted on WPRI.com all day long.
We're actually just getting word that we have video from this plane crash that we've been telling you about on 195 in the Reed Road exit area in Dartmouth. So we're going to take a look at that. And Stephen, that's really backing up traffic. And on top of that, the road conditions in other places aren't great. So you can see this video just in from someone who was obviously on 195, the heavy smoke there, and the plane in the median. We'll stay on top of this for the rest of the day for you.
All right, dang it, I missed it. Hold on a minute. Play that again.
Cars lie to us. Motorcycles tell us the truth.
Come on with this.
We are small
crap.
and exposed.
Now my computer's gone crazy. Oh, that's unbelievable. What is going on with this?
Update now on that breaking news from Dartmouth, Massachusetts DOT confirming that a plane crashed off of Route 195 near Reed Road. These reports coming in at about 8:15 this morning. DOT telling us 195 West is closed. At least one lane is closed on 195 East. We do have a crew headed to the scene. We'll have much more on this breaking news coming up, and we go off the air at 9 o'clock. But of course, we'll keep you posted on WPRI.com all day long.
We're actually just getting word that we have video from this plane crash that we've been telling you about on 195 in the Reed Road exit area in Dartmouth. So we're going to take a look at that. And Stephen, that's really backing up traffic. And on top of that, the road conditions in other places aren't great. So you can see this video just in from someone who was obviously on 195, the heavy smoke there, and the plane in the median. We'll stay on top of this for the rest of the day for you.
Okay, I wanted to stop it right here because there it is. He came across the highway, so I don't think he was on any approach to land safely. And as you can see, the highway's on fire across the highway, and I imagine that's probably where that silver car kind of looked like a Ford Fusion, but it might have been a Chrysler. It might have been a silver Chrysler. What do they call them? 300s or whatever. But there he wasn't trying to land on the medium. And being that it was all rainy and crappy and everything, he was that very dangerous to land in a dirt surface, being that there was a lot of rain and everything. Well, once you touch down on that stuff, then the wheels start digging in. But it wasn't supposedly a big jetliner, so there we go. So even the highway's on fire. So he had to hit before the highway. He had to clip trees or something before he came across the highway, because it slid across the highway, and what it looks like, and that's on fire too. So there was a vehicle that was hit. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Sad. I think they're saying there was two people, the pilot and co-pilot or whatever, on board. Thank God it wasn't a giant jetliner, 747. But I think we'll find in this one that he might have had trouble before he, I don't know, maybe tried to put it down. I think there was a field on both sides. of this highway. So maybe he tried putting it down or was going to try and make it over the highway to land. Or possibly he landed before the highway and skidded right through and across the highway. But it's definitely that there's fire there on the highway crossing it. So he must have hit somewhere before the highway, possibly. Or either that it hit and threw debris and gasoline or whatever. It might have hit in the mud and stuck, right? Boom. But gasoline and plane parts or whatever slid across the highway. That's possible. All right, folks. There you go. Another plane crash. I know they're and you have to keep in mind there was bad weather out there, right? Raining, high winds, 30, 40 mile an hour winds. They might have hit a microburst or something that blew them right out of the sky. But the funny thing about this is there was no reports of this plane being in the sky. There was no flight log. There was no communication at all between tower and the plane. So, no communication. The tower said that it didn't log in, log out, that it was taken off or landing or anything. Very fishy. Maybe drugs, maybe drug runner or something. The government is shut down, so it's possible why the drug runners might think, well, the government shut down. Let's get our drugs in there. Could be. Don't know yet. We'll be back with more information once it comes out. Have a great day.